Welcome in the second Media Sapiens Talk. And today I have my dear guest from Equalis, which is Macedonian organization located in Skopje. And before we will go to the media literacy topic, I will pass the word to Sanja, and she will talk a little bit more about this organization. So Sanja, welcome, and thank you one more that you kind of give me a little bit of your time.
Yeah, thank you, Ilona. I'm Sanja Mihajlovska, together with my colleague Angel Dimitrievski, and Elena Danova. We are representative of the organization Equalis, as you mentioned, located in Skopje, founded and led by young people. To tell you a little bit more about our organization, we are with this pandemic situation, we started working also outside of Skopje, which means that the whole country. We had the opportunity to work with young people from the home country. In this pandemic negative situation, we find it something positive. So working online, maybe it's tougher, but we had the chance to include everyone. What we are working on in our strategy from 2020 to 2025, we have 3 fields, which is youth activism, and we are working on different forms of online and offline activism. The other theme and topic which we are working on, it's gender equality and LGBT stigma. And the third topic which we are working is media literacy, which you will talk more about with my colleagues.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you very much. It's very nice to hear from someone that this pandemic brought also something positive. So I am very glad to hear it. And I would just I will give you 3 questions, and let's kick out the first one. I would be and for sure some others would be a little bit more curious to know, when we talk about media literacy, what is the situation in the Macedonian situation, the context? Yes, if you can very briefly or more deeply, feel free to choose any topic from this huge topic which you find interesting for your organization, but what is it for you, this media literacy?
Yeah, maybe I can start and Elena can add up if she wants. Well, our focus specifically is young people. So when it comes to media literacy, we are always surprised at how much young people are capable to especially work with media, because they are daily in contact with media. But we think that we have a room for improvement in the part of, analyzing of media content, being critical when it comes to media messages, recognizing some informations that are fake or that are based on some, outdated cultural norms in the media. So we are really trying to make that connection when it comes to young people to feel empowered when they use media, especially when it comes to marginalized communities, because we work with marginalized communities primarily. So we use media literacy and media education as a platform to not just to inform and educate, but also to embrace these people, to talk about their issues on a daily level.
Thank you.
Maybe I can just add that when working with young people, we are also trying to emphasize how powerful media is as a tool in a society. And while we are working with activism and on empowering youth activism, specifically in the Macedonian society, we are at the same time stressing out and putting more attention on how to use media while being an active citizen in the society as well.
Thank you. I have another question, because if we are youth organizations, we try to work with young people. Can you let me know how Equalis finds young people? You are not coming and looking for them like some detectives, but how you get them? Because honestly, also in the Czech Republic context, we kind of struggle with to get especially new people. We have these categories of people which we see that they are super active. For example, they take part in local activities, international. But can you maybe share what is your strategy to approach young people and include them in these media literacy activities? Do you have some maybe special tip which you can share with us?
Connected how we are finding young people and attracting them to our organization twice per year from the beginning of the school year and in the middle when they have this winter break. We have open days of our organizations which are promoting what we are doing the whole in the past the whole year and what is planned to do at least in the next 6 months before the pandemic situation. Now we have before and after pandemic. In the before pandemic situation, we also visited schools and promoting our organization that on that date we will have the open day. And now on this in January open day, we have online promotion with interesting creative activities, and in September 2020 we had the open gallery, which is part of our activities in our space with the complete measure for 1019. We had a gallery from our activities, and also for the new volunteers which are coming, opportunity to talk with the experienced old volunteers, how and what they are doing in Equalis. So this is our maybe tricks to attract new volunteers.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Sanja. Maybe your colleagues, they can give one more tip.
And also, I would say that not only that we find young people, but they find us also. It's vice versa. So for organizations that work with young people in North Macedonia, it is not usual to openly stand for certain concepts and rights that we stand for. For example, we are one of the few LGBT organizations working with LGBT people. So this is in that terms a safe a safe space where young people come, and afterwards that is reflected in activities when it comes to media. For example, last year, actually in December, we had a publication that included 4 queer stories of 4 queer young people, and afterwards it was available in a in a digital version. So when young people come in our organization, they use the resources that we offer them and make a more visible outreach of what they want to see in a community and towards our community.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Angel.
And I would like you go.
Sorry, I just want to add something on what Angel said. And when we are working with young people, we are trying to be as much as inclusive as we can. For example, the publication which Angel mentioned, we did it by language because North Macedonia is bi-language country, and also we did audio version for people with hearing impairment.
That's really cool. That's very nice to hear.
And I would also like to add, since Angel said we are one of the very few organizations that work with LGBT issues, we are the only youth organization that works with young LGBT people. So this makes us special in a way. However, we hope there will be more organizations that work with young people who come from this community. At the same time, we are like individually, we are all activists, and even outside of Equalis, we are active on social media, and we are literally going to every protest that we believe fits our values, and it is important, especially those that are of importance for young people. And sometimes it happens that young people see us there, and I believe they see when we stand for the values that are important and relevant for them. And this is how they connect with us, and we connect with them. We never really keep quiet, and we like every day we are in a struggle to bring a better future for this society, not only in our working hours. And I think this is something that young people see and they appreciate. And I think we've had several occasions that young people meet us during a protest, and then they join our organizational activities, or they follow our fight for democracy and human rights on social media on our personal accounts, and then they ask, how can I join the organization? I think these are little things that matter a lot, and the young people see and value them. And this is something that brings young people to the organization as well.
Thank you very much. It's very encouraging to hear it. Because like maybe many people, if let's say this talk goes to YouTube and everywhere, maybe people are not aware of the Macedonian context, but I can confirm, like a person living between these two countries, that in Macedonian society is really kind of challenging to speak about LGBT issues. So that leads me also to my questions, which I didn't plan, but it's close to media literacy. Going like public, like LGBTQ organizations, it means that especially in social media or in media, you can face many kind of also hatred or attacks. Do you kind of like, how you keep sane, like you're in the organizations, or how you keep, you know, yourself, I don't want to say together, but how you deal with this sometimes very hostile atmosphere? Because I'm noticing somewhere when I read some articles in Macedonian media, you know, you just scroll on and you see this not very, I would say, nice comments. And it's connected with how we can deal like people with these attacks, or how we can stand for things which matter to us. How you deal with it, like an organization, or maybe on personal level. Like you can just share how much you want, or maybe just give tip to young people how they can also do like kind of deal with it.
I think that it's from organizational perspective, we do receive quite a lot of you know, hatred when it comes to media content related to minority groups, specifically when it comes to LGBT rights and women's rights. And our policy is that we engage in conversations that are constructive, but when it comes to hate speech, we do remove it, but first we report it. So, you know, we report it first to the platforms, but sometimes we go to actual police and, you know, through the digital platform that offers us this option, we report it to the police. But on a personal level, it is very hard to keep, you know, to be sane when it comes to this conversation, because our work is not as usual. You finish at 4, go home, and the work stops. The work is following you while you're on your phone, so it is constant. And I would say that youth workers need to go through a lot of support systems that include also psychotherapy, supervision from external experts. So the daily contact we have with these hateful narratives maybe affects our mental health. So this is a coping mechanism. We also have a support system within ourselves, so it is important to keep sane at times.
Thank you very much, Angel. If Elena or Sanja want to add something, feel free. If not, we can just, I have just one last question for you. Okay, thank you for these very practical tips. And I think it's also very nice that Angel shared them. It's also, I think for young people, it's always very encouraging, especially if they are belonging also to some groups which are being attacked. And let's say my last question, but it can be like a bit larger. It's like, can you maybe now present one concrete activity which you do on media literacy? We spoke about this a bit general, but maybe like one concrete thing which you do. Anyone from you which would like to talk about it?
We are implementing a variety of programs that focus on media literacy, and oftentimes the content of these programs intertwines with other topics that are important to us, like activism most often. Last year, this time, we implemented a program for youth activism using media tools and mobile journalism. And this was a pretty successful program since it happened in the beginning of the pandemic and all of these lockdowns. So we literally had to replan and readapt the whole program, and instead of doing it in person in the physical space, we had to do it all online using the media tools that are already familiar to us, but also using some new tools like Zoom that wasn't that familiar, for example, or using some other digital tools that like we had to learn about them and getting used to them while using them at the same time. And on a constant level, something we do is in our informal aspect of the youth work, because this is something we also do besides all of the formally organized and designed activities. We also do informal youth work. So in the daily conversations with the young people, we constantly make sure to help them detect fake news and disinformation. For example, a few weeks ago, there was a conversation with one of our youth about vaccines, and she was convinced that the vaccination is dangerous, and like she believed in some conspiracy theory. So through a very non-formal conversation, we kind of succeeded to give her another perspective of this. And after a few weeks in another conversation with her, we realized that there is a certain progress, and that she's been also trying to look at the other side of the information she sees about the vaccines. And this is just one example of many examples we have on daily level when we support young people to recognize the validity of an information they see online.
Thank you very much. How I say, we want to keep this talk short so we don't take the valuable time, but if there is like any last comment or you would like to share something, now it's your time, like feel free, Sanja, Angel, or Elena. Anything else you would like to point it out regarding your work in media literacy? No.
I would like to add that Angel mentioned in the previous question that we have built our own support system within the organization, and we literally give support to each other to stay sane, but not only about this, also about other issues from a different nature on daily level. What is really important is to have by your side other organizations that share your values and give each other support. For example, we have this little like a network of organizations that share our values, and whenever we have a doubt in something or we need an additional support on certain issue, this is the little informal network that we would go to and just check up and try to find the needed support.
Great. Thank you very much for all your like time and comments and information which you shared. I found it very valuable, and I think that the ones which will listen as well. I would like to just also add that this talk is part of Erasmus Plus project, which is called Media Sapiens International Training Course on Media Literacy. And we hope that with all these bright people, we will meet also in July in the Czech Republic, if COVID allowed us. And also, very last thing which I would like to mention is that this program is supported by the Czech National Agency, so that we have it in all the package. So thank you once more.